All right, welcome to everybody who has joined me for today's live stream. It's really awesome to have you here. I'm just kind of getting a feel for how I would like to edit this video once this live stream is over and I start editing it. I'd appreciate it if you guys let me know whether or not you watch the edited live stream videos and how you would like to see edited videos in the future. If you would like to hear, excuse me, how everything is done, the process through which I do things and my thoughts, or if you'd just rather watch the magic happen while I add some music in the background. Right now I am in the middle of mixing up some paint colors. I'm wanting to do a spring theme. So if you hear a bunch of shaking in the background, that's just me preparing some of the colors while hopefully other people come in to today's live stream. And I appreciate and I apologize if that sound disturbs some people. So on the post on my YouTube channel, I got 3 results. 33% of people, or 1 vote, wanted purple. 1 wanted green, blue, and brown. And 1 person voted for surprise. So until I get some color suggestions in my comments for today's live stream, I think it would be a good idea to kind of wait for the pour painting until I get some more comments. Okay, now it looks like we've got some more people here. Thank you so much for joining me. Here is an update from last Monday's live stream. I like what's going on right here, but I would like this painting to be a little bit more on the brighter side. And then here's the one that ended up cracking on us. Which is a real shame, but I've gotten comments on my last YouTube video about filling these with sparkle of some kind. And I might give that a try. I just wonder if it might feel a little out of place. But that gold that we added in there with the pinks really shines through nicely in this one. But yeah, tell me in the comments what you'd like to see, what you think might look really good to either cover these up or maybe enhance them some way that I can turn this around, because it just feels unfinished. Now, we are going to be having company over in a little bit, so I will be keeping today brief. But put down in the comments what colors you would like to see for today's live stream, and let me know what colors I should use for today, since the poll was inconclusive, I'll say. And until we get some more colors, I thought it would be a good idea to have a look in my art book that I'll doodle in from time to time, just to kind of fill some time. There we go. This might be a little difficult. Hello to all of those of you who have tuned in. Thank you so much for joining me today. We are just killing some time trying to figure out some colors for today's pour painting. If there's a color you would like to see, put it down in the comments with either a sticker or just type it out, and we'll add it to our cup. This was a little diagram that I made a long while back when I was looking at dioramas and thinking about trying to make one for myself. I had slope and everything. I wanted it to be as 3D as I could. I got a bit detailed here with the shading for the cliff face. It's just some fun doodles. Not all of these pages are going to have something on them. Some of them are just going to be doodle attempts. It's a horse that I did a while back. There we go. It's a giraffe I did. And this is multimedia paper. So I was able to do this with regular paint. And that was fun. Can you see the bird in this one? I wanted to do a reverse silhouette, if you will. This one was also done with regular paint. Some of it was with house paint from when I used to work at Benjamin Moore. I used to work at a Benjamin Moore retail store in Stanwood called Painter's Alley. I miss that place a bunch. Same thing with this one. This was painted using house paint and acrylic paint. This is from my collection. And again, not every page is going to have something in there. I tried drawing a cat. Yes, okay. Yeah, that was a fun one that I did. One of these days, I might freehand one of my regular pour paintings and put something like this on it. I think that would be fun. The problem is just trying to find the pencil markings against all the different colors. This one was not done by hand. I did trace it, but I wanted to try and work with scoring the paper rather than drawing on top of it. So this was etched into the paper with a toothpick and colored over the top. Kind of worked. And I've got some more that I haven't colored on. Perhaps I'll work on them during my next live stream. And if you can't tell already, horses are one of my favorites. And actually, I think that's all I have in my art book. So perhaps I'll do a video on those some other time. Oh, all right, with no comments, 10 minutes into the video on what colors we will use for today's pour painting, I think we're just going to do another random pour and see what we get and try for a different form of votes for next time. So because we are just going to go random, I am going to reuse this cup. And let's get to pouring. If there are any colors you can think of that you want to add, you want to see me add to our current mix, let me know in the comments and I will add it to the cup. We are going in with I'll call this a tulip pink. It makes me think of tulips. And then we're going to go in with some yellow that I watered down. Hopefully this yellow will give us some better results after I added a bit of water to it. And let's go with the spring green. Let's go with some of our blue toned white. Somehow this paint has not dried up yet. Although I don't want to be adding any paint skins in case bits of it have started to dry up. I think I should just get a straining sock and dump that white through it, just in case. Okay, let's go for pony nose pink, which looks more like hot pink on camera. And let's go for a homemade teal. There we go. That's about the color that it is IRL. We won't go too much with that one. And last, maybe we can get some gold veining. That would be nice. So I'm just going to do a little bit of drizzle of the gold, and maybe we'll get like streaks. Okay, so I think that is good enough for just one canvas. Here's a close-up of all of our different colors. Kind of got some reactions going on. Let's see what we get. And let's save the rest for the next canvas. I did kind of do a lot. Or perhaps I didn't do enough. We got some cells happening in the center. Okay, maybe not so much in the center, but we've got a little mini colony of cells trying to form. And I don't think I have enough paint on this to spin out. Maybe I do, but let's just add a little more. It's a lot going on with this one. Sometimes the best plan is no plan when it comes to pour painting. Okay, and then to help cover up those little bubbles, I'm gonna take a little bit of paint from the wall and just dab those away. Okay, very interesting. There we go, cover the edges. And let's go in for a closer look. I'm curious to see how this will look when it dries. Lots of little different things going on in there. Kind of like it. Although it is showing up more pastel on camera than it is in person. In person, it is way more muted. Okay, let's take this and set it aside to dry. We've got our second canvas today. Finicky Firetail, thank you so much for joining me today. I'm so glad you could make it. Currently, we've got, come on, focus, there we go. We've got greens, pinks, yellow, some of our blue-toned white, and gold in that cup. However, I don't think I have enough paint in here to cover this canvas. So I am going to add a little bit more. Let's do a little bit more of the spring green. I did thin these paints out beforehand, because I noticed some of them are a little bit more gloppy than others. And let's add in some more tulip pink. I think that muted green really took over. So I'd like this one to be a little bit on the brighter side. Okay, a little bit more of our blue toned white. Make sure I didn't grab, make sure there wasn't a paint skin in there. There we go. And then, just for the sake of it, let's add a little bit of red. Ideally, I'd like for the red to kind of bring out the tulip pink that I have just a little bit more and help to intensify it. But I won't add too much because the scarlet red, it kind of wants to be glossy, and whenever a paint that is glossy dries, it is most often the first to dry, and that can lead to the paint shrinking, which is what I think what happened to this picture here. Oh boy. Even though I don't remember adding any red. I'm pretty sure the top of the paint just started to dry too quick, and the paint underneath of it hadn't quite settled down yet. But let's have a look inside the cup. Lots of interesting things going on. Okay, let's see what we get. This might be a good one for the Lazy Susan. Maybe. Okay. So a lot going on here. I might try and run the extra paint off onto this little guy here, just to help make this a 3-part series. I'll at least try. Yeah, it's definitely too much paint on this one. Okay. Well, they can't all be winners. Maybe if I stretch it a little bit more down. So we've got some interesting things happening with the red that I added in there. It's just I put in so little of the red that it really doesn't want to show up too much. If I can stretch it out, yeah, it doesn't really want to show. Okay, well that's something. Let's set that aside and see what we can do here. Well, let's use what's left in the cup. Perhaps this would be a better one for the Lazy Susan. Or not. Oh, there was a paint skin in there. Well, it seems like today was a bit of a flop. But I'm gonna throw this one on the Lazy Susan off camera. And if you want to see update pictures on how this turns out, along with the other one that we just did, so I will put both of these on the Lazy Susan. If you want to see how they turn out, you'll have to tune in to my Instagram to see updates. Okay, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful afternoon, and I hope to see you again next Monday. Bye for now.